Here we go. Another car ride to work. How's all those dusty cats out there? How are all those little lizards with gross little broken tails that are slowly growing back? Makes you kind of sick, even though the lizard was scared, probably being attacked, and it had to lose the tail. They can kind of detach the tail if something's trying to catch it as a self-defense mechanism. But then you look at the lizard like I had a lizard, and you'd go to get it out of the cage so you can clean its little cage. And it would, like, once in a while, they'd get all frightened and they would, like, drop their tail. And they'd have this little wiggling tail they'd leave in your hand or on the floor, and you get a little weird lizard blood on your hands. And it would be kind of gross. And then as you go to take care of the lizard, you know, it's kind of gross because you're looking down at this little thing, and it's looking up at you, and it's got that little nubby, gross tail. But you love it anyways. But you just don't like it the same as you did when it had the full-length tail. I guess that's something to think about, you know, when you apply it to life and human growth. It's something to think about. We often reject people when they're trying to recover from a traumatic event. It doesn't look pretty. Tell you that much. I'm on my way to work, and I gotta tell you, you get there, you see some of these people. It ain't always pretty, but nevertheless, it's part of the process. I remember me. I was walking around with my little stumpy, gross tail, and I don't think it ever quite comes back the same. But nevertheless, I'm seeing some of these homeless encampments, and today I was looking at a guy, and I was like, you know what? Today's the day. I think I'm gonna join them. These guys are making it look good, you know. I was driving by this guy. He had his car all filled up, and he was sitting out there just drinking, looking like shit. And I was thinking, you know what? How much to buy in? I almost wanted to stop and talk to him and go, this is it. I'm sold. Today's the day. I got, you know, $400 in my bank account right now. How far will that get me? Is that enough to buy in to the homeless lifestyle? Because I feel like you want to buy in. You want to maybe pick a guy up who looks like he's got he knows what he's doing, and you go, can I take you out? Can you show me the ropes a little bit? And I got this 2006 Chevy Avalanche. Would this be a good homeless mobile? You can camp out in here. I'd like to take them on a little ride and go, what do we need to do? Do we gotta go by the Army surplus store? What would you suggest I get with this money? And then also, I'm gonna need, I've been hearing a lot about this Pookie business. What is that? What's the deal with that? Should I get one so I can smoke my meth? Probably want to at least start with some toilet paper. I'm sure they've got their ways of wiping without the toilet paper. Or maybe you just ask to use the bathroom, or you go into the bathroom at the supermarket and you just take the roll of toilet paper that's in there. You just start yanking on the end of that piece of toilet paper until the roll's empty, and you wrap it around your hand, and you have your own little bum toilet paper. You probably want to get a fair amount of alcohol. I mean, you might as well live large at first to break you in. That's what I'm thinking. You go, what drugs am I gonna need? Should I start with heroin, or do you start with meth? Because I feel like just the weed and the beer isn't gonna be enough. Feels like there needs to be another element to the whole thing to make it worth it. To really give you that feeling of, I'm doing something great. I can't go back. I gotta just dive in head first and keep going until you got yourself a sweet little bum girlfriend, a little sweetie. And then you're wandering the streets with her, and she's got the beer belly going, and you're both on your bicycles, and you're screaming and yelling at each other all the time. And then you see the guy, because this happened to me. I was leaving a restaurant. I just got done eating, and this guy and his bum girlfriend, they see me, and they're like, do you have any money? And it was actually me and my friend, my male friend. And I said, not today, sorry. And they immediately started with the horrible slurs, you know. Faggots, you guys are faggots. And they started calling us names, and they really turn on you quick, you know. They know how to get the charm going at first, but the second they find out they're not getting anything from you, they just turn on you violently. I mean, there's a whole bum way that you kind of need to learn about. You know, there's the guy that he's kind of muttering and he's kind of quiet, but when he sees you and he knows that you can hear him, and he's like, okay, I'm on this guy's radar. They start really yelling crazy gibberish real loud, and they're cursing, and they're like, fuck, God, motherfuck you, and they start talking all the crazy bum talk, and having like conversations from 20 years ago. Sometimes I listen to the things that they're screaming and yelling, and I go, that sounds like a bunch of stuff you wish you would have said in the heat of the argument, but didn't. But now, years later, while you're on the meth and drugs and you're on the street, you've got nothing but time to cook up some great comebacks, you know. That's what it sounds like to me, at least. I'm hearing them and they're like, oh yeah, motherfucker, yeah, you got diarrhea of the lip. I heard a guy saying that. You got diarrhea of the lip, motherfucker. Or some of it's either like, what you wish you would have said back to your dad in the argument where he threw you out of the house for the last time? Or it's like once they've like gotten arrested and they don't know how to behave in prison or jail, and the other prisoners are trying to correct them and talking shit to them, you know, like, hey, shut the fuck up. And they're like, oh yeah, motherfucker. And now they're screaming what they wish they would have said on the street in my direction, and directing it all that energy towards me because they see that I'm walking by. And then when you pass them and you start getting further away, they start getting more quiet. You know, they like an audience. For a lot of the people that you think they're like crazy, they know enough to know when they have an audience and when to really get wacky and nuts. Because I feel like a lot of these guys quiet down when they're just left alone. But the second they know people are watching, that's when a lot of the theatrics happen. And I don't know about you, but that's when it gets irritating. You know who I feel bad for? The guy who's putting on the show and no one's watching. That's a guy who's got my sympathy. I go, oh man, this guy, he's got this whole show going on and no one's watching, and he's in a real bad place. The guys who like the audience, those are guys, I feel like if they've gone crazy for other reasons, like they wanted to be in bands and they just couldn't handle the fact that they have no talent for like being a musician or in the arts, and it broke them. It broke their mind. And I'll see people, you know, out there, and they're like trying to be comedians, they're trying to be musicians, and they just don't have it. They don't have the it factor. And this isn't their calling. They have no natural ability for this. But in their head, they have so little respect for the craft or for what goes into entertaining, and that they think they're doing it. They're like, I don't understand why people don't love this. I'm doing the thing. I'm up on the stage. I'm here at the band practice. Why do these guys not want me to be their bass player? I mean, I got the outfit. I got the attitude, you know? I like some cool bands. I might not know all the bands. I may not know a lot of different kinds of music, but a lot of these people, they know so little, they don't know how little they know. As far as they're concerned, they're up to date. They're up to date on music. They get it. They're like, yeah, the blues. I know the blues. Blues Traveler. B.B. King. Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, I know the blues. Punk rock. Yeah, I know punk rock. Pennywise. No Effects. Yeah, the Sex Pistols. I get the whole punk rock thing. And you're going, oh man, there's a little bit more to it than that. But they don't really accept that. They feel they have a very well-rounded view of music. And these are a lot of the people that'll be like, you know who is good? Linkin Park. That they were good. And they can't separate the difference between liking something because it's nostalgic, and that's okay. That's perfectly acceptable. You can like things just because you remember it when you were a kid, or you had a few good times and that music was on. So it'll always have a special place in your heart. But that doesn't mean that that music is quality music created by, quality artists. And you really wouldn't put Linkin Park in the same category as like an artist. You can't go Radiohead and Linkin Park were both very popular. And there's a little bit of a difference between the two bands. And I'm not just talking about the musical genre, just as far as musicianship. But it's probably a lot of those guys on the street, They're just like, I feel that I'm a white guy that can really do a good job of rapping. You don't think I've heard Cottonmouth Kings? You don't think that I know all of, like Cypress Hill? I love Cypress Hill. So you want to be a rock superstar? Drive big cars? And they're listening to that and they're like, remember that? That's good. Yeah. I feel like a lot of the homeless people who are insane are those people. Like they just couldn't go on mentally knowing that they're horrible. Like, it's happened very often, because for a long time I didn't have a car, and so I was taking the subways a lot and the buses, and you'll see the guy with his guitar, the homeless guy with the guitar. And I don't know about you, but when I see a homeless guy with a guitar, I think this guy's gonna be good. He's got nothing to do but make music. He must have said, fuck this world, fuck the secular world, I'm not doing it, I am an artist. And then you expect to listen to him play and be like, wow, okay, I get it. You're too delicate. You're too sensitive for this world because you're tapped into art. But that's not often the case. It's actually, I've never heard it. I've never heard a homeless guy with a guitar and said he's very good. He's got a song in his heart and an incredible way of playing and singing music. And I understand why he couldn't go on with this world, why he had to be off the grid, because it doesn't make sense for him to do anything else. But the music industry being what it is makes it impossible, especially these days, for real artists and great musicians to have a voice. You gotta have only a few people make it and get real support from record labels. And if you don't have the support, it ain't gonna happen. And there's like a couple people in the world who've been able to make careers for themselves even without the help of any label or anything. Justin Bieber, he went up on YouTube and put his music out, and he developed a huge audience. Was pretty much already famous before he was signed. Arctic Monkeys, they were selling out huge theaters wherever they played, and they weren't signed. There was a huge bidding war for them. They were like, they got signed like one of the biggest record deals that any rock band has really ever gotten signed to, other than Led Zeppelin, because they were so good and had such a big following. So doesn't really happen. But when I'm on the street and I hear these guys playing, I'm expecting some kind of beautiful underground art. It's not the case. These guys are horrible. These guys are usually terrible. And you go, oh my God, you're deranged. You're completely deranged with that guitar, and you're actually kind of making me look bad, because I'm going, hey, I'm a musician, and there's certain sacrifices I'm willing to make to be that. And then you got this guy who's like, yeah, me too. I feel the same way as you. And then they're just horrible. Horrible, horrible. And it's kind of shocking once in a while, I remember I was on the subway, and I was thinking I was getting set up for this classic moment, because I'm sitting there at the Red Line station waiting for the subway to come, and there's an old black man, and he has his guitar. He's getting it out of the case, and he's gonna play some music. And by the looks of the situation, I'm going, wow, an old black blues musician is about to play. He's one of the... I almost wanted to get my phone out and go, this guy's undiscovered. This is probably going to be a breakthrough moment where we get this guy on video, get it out to the world, and he'll be headlining, South by Southwest, and he's going to become a sensation. The man who never made it but should have, because he's just that good. But he's still out there playing, and I found him. And so he finally gets this guitar out. He's tuning it, and I'm waiting for the big moment to come. And he goes to play this music, and it was horrible. No two chords belong together. He started singing, and it was horrible, out of key. The words were frightening and weird. It was a nightmare. It was almost so bad that it was genius, but that's how truly bad it was, is that it wasn't even so bad, it was genius. It was just bad enough to make you sick. So, that's that, I'm almost to work, and it's been a nice time chatting with you guys. If you're an artist, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to have a regular job. By all means, put out your art. Do what you feel you gotta do. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But also, you gotta also make sure you're good enough if you wanna just live on the street and walk around with the guitar. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you're making a lot of people look bad. A lot of struggling artists look really bad because you're out there and you just suck. And you gave up everything. All because you were so stubborn, you just couldn't come to terms with the fact that you don't have it. And you'd rather hold on to the belief that you are incredibly good, but the world just can't see it, and it's the woe is me syndrome, and the whole world's against you for some reason, and haven't given you personally a chance, even though you're so good. Maybe they're just jealous. Maybe everyone's just jealous, and they never let you have your chance. Alright, well, I'm signing out now. That's enough of this gibberish. Have a beautiful day. Whatever time you're listening to this, because it might not be day, it might be night. So have a good experience, no matter when you hear this or where you hear this. I hope that the next 4 to 5 hours of your life go wonderful for you. I should be, like, why stop? Why cut it off at 5 hours? Why not just, when people say have a good day, it makes me want to stop and go, well, what about tomorrow? You think tomorrow can be good too? I mean, you already gave me the good day. Would it kill you to add 2 days? Why not 3 days? Why not have a good rest? People say have a good weekend. So only the weekend can be good. I can't have a good week. Can't have a good month. Why not just everybody say have a nice life? I hope the rest, that's what I'm going to start saying. I think we should all say this. When you are saying goodbye to someone, instead of have a good day, have a good afternoon, have a good weekend, hey, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, you say, all right, I hope you enjoy the rest of your life from this moment to the grave. I hope it goes smooth, and I hope you feel fulfilled when right as you're closing your eyes to go to sleep on your final night's sleep, because I hope that you die in your sleep in a peaceful way, and that the very last thing you think before you go to sleep that night, the night that you drop dead in your sleep, I hope the last thing you think is, man, I'm happy with the way things have gone. Seems like ever since I ran into that guy Cliff, and he said, have a good rest of your life, and I hope you die in your sleep at when you're over 100 years old. Things have gone good for me. Alright, bye. Enjoy the rest of your lives.